Hi everybody, here's my weekly update. I've got quite a lot of news, some good news, some bad news to share this week. The Ministry of Immigration opens, or Department of Immigration opens on Monday. The first week they're open, it's for lawyers only to do their business and deal with their backlog. And then the following week they're open for people to file visa applications, etc. So that's good. So we've asked our lawyer, and we'll find out sometime next week if we'll be able to have an appointment in a week's time to file our visa application finally. Once our visa application is filed, then we can look at getting out of the city. However, here's for the bad news. On Saturday, yesterday, it was announced that because since they opened up this and reduced quarantine, the number of cases in the last week, actually it's since they opened block 2, that's an economic activity block, since they did that, which was about 2 weeks ago, now 14 days later the number of cases is increasing. So that's a concern, and so they're again concerned that the health system could be overwhelmed, and so they are bringing back quarantine, but they're only bringing back quarantine for Panama City and Panama Oeste, which is the west edge of Panama City on the other side of the canal. So we're in Panama City, so back to full quarantine again. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't actually make a huge difference to us day to day. I did leave the house again this week. I did go to the supermarket, and Tice, Caesar and I, early in the morning when it was cooler, went out just for a walk. Just for I won't say around the block because we live in a dead-end street here, just for a walk down to the roundabout and up the street and back. That's it. I saw a hummingbird. I'll put that next. Yeah, so it's really frustrating. It seems that the lockdown was, they told us, obviously, it was to control the rate of infection so that the healthcare system didn't become overwhelmed. I have noticed that the number of tests that are being done each day has increased. But I don't know that it's increased to the level that it needs to be, and they don't say much about contact tracing. So, inevitably, when quarantine is released, the number of cases is going to rise, and so I think we're in a pattern of quarantine and restrictions on movement. Some release, cases go up, back to quarantine and restrictions on movement. I do find it, I don't know what the right word is, annoying that people outside, that I see on social media, people outside of the city in the interior and some of the beach communities are really grumpy about it. Like, we've got hardly any cases. How come we're in quarantine? Well, I think they misunderstand how exponential growth works. You may only have 20 cases now, but if everyone's allowed to move around freely, that'll quickly become 40, 80, 160, 320, and so on and so forth. That's how exponential growth works. And right when your hospital is only half full, that's one iteration before, with one doubling time, the next doubling time, and suddenly it's full. So it comes up really quickly. That's how exponential growth works. And so even if you have very few cases, unless you are mass testing, identifying those infected and isolating those infected and aggressively contact tracing all of the people they've come in contact with and testing them as well and isolating all of those infected people, unless you've got that approach, you need to stop people moving around, because that's how this virus moves. Now, I'm not actually personally afraid of contracting it and dying. I know that my chances of dying from COVID are minusculely low. I know that. What I'm concerned about is being in a situation where there are bodies in the streets like Ecuador, or mass graves like Brazil, or Hart Island in New York City. Would not feel safe in a situation where the virus is allowed to run rampant, and the health system is overwhelmed. Because if the health system is overwhelmed, you better not get sick with anything else. Not that I plan on doing that. So Caesar and I are still safe, we're still healthy, we are still in this beautiful apartment with this beautiful view. We are still able to go and get what we need. We have food, shelter, air conditioning, got everything we need. We're quite comfortable, a lot better off than a lot of people. So once our visa is filed, we'll be looking at our options of where we could go next. But to be honest, with the airport closed, our options are pretty damn limited. Ideally, what I would really like to be able to do is buy a vehicle, find a property down in Coronado, take a long-term lease, and just go and hide out. Just get from the car, from this apartment, drive all the way to the next one, have no contact with anyone, get into it, or preferably a house actually, get into it and just stay there. I mean, that would be my ideal. Something on the beach facing a good surf break. It's been over 13 weeks since we surfed now. This is, apart from when I gave birth to my son 19 years ago, this is the longest period of time I have ever gone without surfing. Is it? Yeah, it is. And that's really hard. Working really hard on not letting that have a negative impact on my mental health. Caesar and I are being very careful about our mental health. We are having conversations about that with each other every day, which helps a lot. We're also doing a lot of a decent cardio workout every day, and that really helps with the mental health. We're spending a lot of time on our balcony, as I am right now, in the sunshine, actually getting a little bit of a tan. And that really helps with the vitamin D and the mental health. So we'll be fine. It's just frustrating, and this is taking a lot longer. The quarantine that we've had here now in Panama City is longer than the lockdown in Wuhan, China now. So there's that. I'm not sure that I think that's winning, but here we are. This too will pass. We are safe, and I'll let you know maybe in a week if we've got an application, an appointment to file our visa application. That would be a major step forward, and we'd better get it soon because our documents are going to reach the end of their 6-month lifespan allowed for by Panamanian immigration authorities soon, although I have read that they may be understanding and extend that a little. So I'm going to follow this with some video of the hummingbird that I saw, a little bit of a walk from here down to the supermarket. Super 99 is the local, and a little walk around the block. It's a really, really beautiful part of Panama City that we're staying in, and there's some beautiful trees, and lots of people have pets. I like to see all the dogs. That's really super cute. In the building we're in, they actually have a separate elevator for people with their pets. So cool. I like to take that one if there's a dog in it, just to say hello. Don't pet it though, but you know, it's just really nice. I wish I had a pet. Oh, I also wanted to tell you that I started Spanish lessons this week. I've had 2 lessons. I'm learning the basics. I've got a bunch of post-it notes all around the house. I'm asking Caesar a lot of questions and trying to put short sentences together. But yeah, it's official. I suck at languages. This is going to be really, really, really hard, but I am working really hard on it. So when I'm confident of some short phrases, I'll start to try and add that into my videos, but I'm not confident of that yet. Okay, bye. Look out for the dog poo. It's everywhere. If I come to Super 99 after 5 o'clock, the banks are closed. The dudes who hassle me aren't here. Well, they don't hassle, but you know, winning.